Hey everybody, Console Collector here. Today's video, we're going to do a Nintendo GameCube shell swap. Now a little while ago I bought a N64 blue shell from AliExpress, and I was really impressed with the quality, so I picked up this clear Nintendo GameCube shell. I'm really excited to swap it out with this old beat up GameCube that I have and see how it looks. Just like the N64 shell, this GameCube shell feels really nice, solid, and well built. Really impressed with the quality. What's nice is this kit also supports the digital out GameCube as well as just the standard AV out GameCube. So basically works with every Nintendo GameCube. This is the donor cube I'm going to use for the shell swap. Now this is my franking cube. I actually pieced this GameCube together with several other GameCubes that I had that either didn't work or were broken. And yeah, I made one franking cube that does work. Unfortunately, it's mismatched, but hey, it's the perfect thing to use for this shell swap. What's great about this kit is it literally came with everything you need to do a full shell swap. Even has all the expansion doors for the bottom of it, and it came with a bag of goodies as well, including the alternate backing for the GameCube. So yeah, this does support standard AV out GameCubes as well as digital out GameCubes. Really great. It will work with any Nintendo GameCube. Some of the other stuff it came with is the little memory card doors, which is cool to have those clear. It didn't come with the springs though. That's okay. They're easy enough to swap out. It did come with all the buttons and the lid locking assembly, which was all pre-built into it, so you don't have to mess around with the springs and all the gears, which is cool. And it also even came with a brand new GameCube emblem for the top there. Yeah, how awesome is that? So yeah, again, really comes with everything you need. Alright, so let's just dive right in and get this old GameCube apart and get this shell swap underway. You have to start with the 4 screws on the bottom here, which are easy enough to get out, and then the lid slides right off. It's been a while since I worked in a GameCube, so I can't exactly remember how these come apart. So I'm just going off straight memory here. Like these memory card little heat shields here, I always forget about those. So now I remember this time, got to get those off because that kind of messed me up last time I did a GameCube. There's also some hidden screws under the fan, which a lot of people seem to miss when they're taking out GameCubes. So I make sure to get those first before I forget. Just going to take off the rest of the screws here and get the laser assembly out of the way. Once the screws are out, just lifts right off. I figured it was a good time to give it a good cleaning while I have everything apart here. Get all the dust and grime and stuff off it. And just going to brush up some of the dirt here on the heatsink and the main motherboard. Get all the crevices. And now it's time to take the motherboard off from the bottom half of the GameCube. I really don't like the super tiny screws around the heatsink. Kind of a pain to get off. Gently pulling this part out. Now I can give it a better clean. Do tops and bottoms. And get this heat shield out with these 2 screws. And then I'll be able to give that a good wipe and clean down. Lots of dust buildup in there. Now I'm just going to pull out all these little metal shields and then the power supply board here. Again with the tiny screws. Not very nice to deal with. Especially when you got big fingers like me. It's hard to get in there and get them in and out of the right position. Might as well give all that stuff a clean as well while I have it out. Get all the dirt out of the fan here. That always seems to be the dirtiest part of any console I work on. Now that I got the bottom all cleared out, it's time to do a little bit more cleaning, and then we're going to move on to the clear shell. Having a look at the bottom of the shell here, it's so nice and clean. It's wonderful. Can't wait to get this thing put together. A little advice, make sure you get these little clips in here, because if you forget, you got to disassemble this whole GameCube again just to put those in. And yes, I talk from experience. I've forgotten these clips before, so yeah, don't forget those. Now the battle to get the little screws inside the power supply board here. Again, really tough with big fingers. And my little screwdriver isn't magnetic, so makes it quite a battle. Now to get this shield seated in there. And make sure you got everything seated properly because it won't clip together later if you don't. Now we got that all together. Gonna get the motherboard and main heatsink put in place. And yeah, you gotta make sure it's oriented the right way or there'll be trouble. I'm realizing with the disassembly and reassembly fast forward, it might be kind of hard to follow this, but if you want a slowed down version of a Nintendo GameCube teardown and reassembly, there's tons on YouTube. I just wanted to do this to just show the shell swap in fast forward real time. And here I am battling the tiny little screws with the heatsink again. I really hate this part of the GameCube teardown and reassembly. Now that that's done, I always take a quick look, make sure everything's seated and oriented properly before I move on to the next step. I really love the clear controller face here. Looks so awesome. Just have to swap this little board over to that clear face now. Got that all done. Now to switch over the memory card doors. Yeah, you gotta slip that spring off and put it on the new clear one, which again isn't too hard. Just gotta make sure that the spring is the right way so there's tension that allows the door to open and close properly. Again, just checking those over, make sure they're good before we move on to the next step. Get the controller unit plugged back in now. Got it all locked in place and it looks good. Now to get the laser assembly back in. Yes, you saw that right. I clipped in the controller face and I had to unclip it again because screws got to go in there. So just wanted to mention that before someone does in the comments. Just put more screws in here and definitely make sure you get those ones under the fan first and then this corner one because the fan actually blocks it. So you got to do that corner one first before the fan goes in or you're pulling it out again. A lot of screws at this step. They definitely didn't want this thing going anywhere. It's actually crazy how compact everything is in here. They really fit a lot of power into this tiny little cube. Just got to get these memory card little shields in there, and that's about it. Now to put the controller face back on again, and now we're ready to put the back on. Again, make sure you have the correct backing, which is the digital out one. Now it's lid time. Just slide it on nice, and oh, got a little pinched wire here. Gotta tuck that in. Make sure you don't pinch the wires. That'll be bad news. Got it all snug and fitting well now. There we go. Looks good. Put the screws in the bottom here, and you see me shaking it. It's because the screws didn't quite line up in the hole, and a little shake gets them in position before you can tighten them down. Time for the final touches. Just getting all the expansion doors on, and there we go. It is complete. Even has a clear handle if you guys didn't notice. Man, this thing looks really nice. I love transparent consoles. I'm really happy they made a GameCube one. Very, very cool. Now let's get that brand new medallion on there. And now we got to put the adhesive pad on there as well. Now for the satisfying peel of the top. There we go. Officially done. The Nintendo Icecube is complete. Brought the Icecube over to the GameCube shelf just to get a better look at it. So what do you guys think? Are you a fan of this shell? Do you think I should have just left it as my franking cube? I personally really like the look of this. It looks like an Icecube. Super cool. I do have to say, despite these shells being really nice quality and how great they look, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have a beat up or wrecked console to do it to. I wouldn't take a mint one and basically devalue it. So yeah, I'm a fan of these aftermarket shells for consoles that are already in rough shape or need some loving. But with that said, honestly, it's your guys' console. You can do whatever you want with it. I just personally would rather do it to beat up or broken consoles. Alright, so that's it for the Nintendo GameCube shell swap to the Icecube. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this Icecube? And do you want to see more stuff like this on the channel? Leave a comment below. Alright, that's going to wrap up today's video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'd really appreciate it. You can follow me on social media. The information is on screen now and in the description below. I want to thank everybody for watching. I am the Console Collector, and until the next video, happy gaming.